Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video I am going to discuss John Stuart Mill's introduction and his writing style, and his essay of liberty of thought and discussion is included in your syllabus. So to understand that essay you have to understand his writing style and how that writing style is reflected in his essay of liberty, right, of liberty of thought and discussion by John Stuart Mill. So we'll begin by a short introduction of John Stuart Mill. He was born on 20 May 1806, London, England, and died at May 1873, Avignon, France. So he was English philosopher, economist, exponent of utilitarianism, and he was prominent as a publicist in the reforming age of 19th century as well. And apart from that, ethical theorist and English philosopher, social critic, political economist, civil servant, and liberal, right? And he was educated by his father. So as far as his writing style is concerned, he write the book with what is limited form of objectivity. So we find objectivity or impartiality in his work. His work is impartial, right, free of bias, and he is objective in that what he is writing about truth and knowledge rather than about preferences and opinions. So we found objectivity in his work, especially in his essay of liberty, where he talks about humanity or the freedom of thought and discussion of all the humanity, right? Not restricted to one region or one race, but all the humanity. And the tone is concerned. His tone is somewhat objective, right, impartial, free of bias or any subjectivity. And the reason it is limited is that he is self-aware and he is writing from of contextualized situation. And in his works he often talks about freedom and liberty, right, freedom of expression, freedom of speech, especially in his essay of liberty of thought and discussion, where he discussed that the individual has right to express their opinions freely without any restriction. And he writes that if all the other people have one opinion and only one person have of the contrary opinion, then he writes that we must not have the right to oppose or to stop or to suppress his opinion, right, because everyone has liberty to express their opinion. So and yes, self-aware and individualism is also found in his writing, and Mill's own work display a critical attitude to utilitarianism, right, and liberalism as well. His two philosophies, utilitarianism and liberalism. So utilitarianism is the philosophy that states that what you have done, if that if that proves to be beneficial for the society, then it is good and acceptable. And in his liberalism, he discussed that the individual has the liberty to express their opinion, right, unless, and the government has no right to suppress the liberty of individual unless his ideas or opinions harm others. And these are his two philosophies, right. And apart from that, he explored the nature and limits of society, power over individual, right. He talks about the rights of minority as well, and the key issues of such power present itself in the context of struggle between individual liberty, political authority. And Mill's approach, it should be clear and rest upon the endorsement of individualism. As I already told you, individualism, he focused on the liberty of individual, and for him the individual ought to be convinced above all the independent entity. And in next video I'll discuss his essay of liberty of thought and discussion.